Welcome to the Bariatric Nutrition Coach podcast, where we empower you with weight loss surgery, nutrition knowledge, mindset advice, and inspiration so you succeed in your weight and health journey. I'm your host, Jane Stoltz, and I am a bariatric dietitian who has helped over 1,300 people on their weight loss surgery journeys. I'm also a solo mum, lover of long walks while listening to podcasts, partial to a glass of wine, and the ocean is my happy place. Join me as I dive deep into bariatric nutrition and lifestyle topics and deliver them to you in bite-sized, palatable episodes every Monday. Now let's go. Hello and welcome to episode 1 of the Bariatric Nutrition Coach podcast. So I'm so excited to be doing this podcast, bit nervous, to be honest, but more excited. So it's been something I've been thinking about for some time, and I decided to do a podcast because it's going to give me a platform, the space to really dig deep into a lot of topics which I can't do when I'm on Instagram or in newsletters and even blogs, because the spoken word and really getting into the depths of some topics is where often the greatest value is. So I plan to have solo episodes like this one, interview people, interview other experts, and also interview and chat with people that have gone through the process of having their weight loss surgery. Thank you so much for being here. And I'm going to kick off my podcast with a topic that I believe, well, whenever I do media on this topic, is greatly received, and it's about weight regain. So today's podcast is about avoiding weight regain after having bariatric surgery. And in my experience of talking to many, many people over the years, working with many, many people over the years, fear and concerns about weight regain after their weight loss surgery, it's a really big area that people are really concerned about. So I want to delve into 5 tips to avoid weight regain after your bariatric surgery. Number 1 is to consume adequate protein every day. Eating enough protein every day is so important. And most people know this, have heard this. What does this actually mean? Okay. And also, why is it so important? And I'm really passionate about people not only knowing what to do and how, but also the why, because I think that can really help with committing to doing something, as you really know the benefits, you really know the reason why we're asking you to do things. We do not store protein in our bodies. We store carbohydrates in our body, and we store fats in adipose tissue in our body. We need protein every day. Protein is important for a whole range of things, metabolic functions in our body, including maintaining and building muscle, which is our lean body mass, and that is super important. So when we're talking about adequate protein every day, how much you need will evolve over time. In the early to medium days after surgery, the challenge can really be just getting adequate protein, just getting enough, and that can be drinking some of your protein, not only eating it. And it can be a challenge. It can be, not protein again. I feel like I'm only eating protein. It can be really tough. Hang in there, because in time, you're going to be able to eat more, and it becomes easier to get your protein, eat enough protein. And that is so wonderful. In early days, medium days after surgery, if you really understand how much protein you're eating, can calculate it, know where your protein's coming from, later on, when you get more appetite, when you feel your appetite picks up and you can eat more, we keep on leveraging, I call it the power of protein, because protein is a high satiety nutrient. It keeps us fuller for longer, protein, with less energy intake, and it is wonderful. So over time, you can need more protein diet. Now, I can't say to anyone just by having a quick chat with them how much protein you need every day. There are calculations. That is something a bariatric dietitian will help you with. And also, we take into account a whole range of factors that need to be discussed. And just so you know as well, as you get older, you need to eat more protein. But also some people need to eat more protein to keep satisfied. But adequate protein every day is the first tip or strategy to avoid weight regain after surgery, after your bariatric surgery is super important. Protein is number one, and it's there for a reason, okay? Number two, so strategy or tip to avoiding weight regain after your bariatric surgery is eating regular meals. That means not skipping meals, eating regularly, getting a schedule of eating. Now, this for some people comes really naturally, and other people it doesn't. So before surgery, a lot of people will say to me, I can go up to lunchtime and I haven't eaten anything. I eat a bit, get home, eat, really hungry because you need to catch up. That can happen after surgery, especially in the early to medium days, because you cannot have the same appetite. But even when we don't have the same appetite, you need to get regular meals in. So you are also not able to eat enough after your weight loss surgery at a meal or to sustain you for hours and hours. You need to eat regularly. Eating regularly helps you reach your protein goals for the day. It helps also regulate your appetite. And that is super key because we don't want to get to a meal. If you haven't eaten for some time, you can be really hungry. It's really hard to eat slowly. You can overeat, okay? And then you can feel uncomfortable for a period, go a long period without eating, and then the cycle continues. So eating regularly is a really key thing. When I start working with clients and in the early to medium days, we're eating 5 small meals a day. Over time, we can drop one of those meals or snacks, however you want to term them. But they are distinct. I call them distinct meals. And they are not exactly the same time each day, but we have a regular eating pattern. And you need to look at how you're going to build that in to your daily working life schedule, okay? And how are you going to keep that going? Because there are so many wonderful benefits. When I say distinct meal, I mean eating slowly, stopping when you're satisfied or 30 minutes comes around, okay? Regular eating as well it ensures that, or it helps less likely to have hunger and cravings later in the day. And also we want to avoid that grazing and snacking behavior because we've got regular meals coming. So it's really a key thing to do, okay? Semi-related to this topic, and it's a bit controversial, is I actually recommend not eating after dinner. The eating after dinner period can be a real hotspot for many people. It can be a time that they can be really vulnerable to grazing, snacking, the discretionary foods. So our goal is to get to dinner, have finished dinner and say, I'm comfortable, I have finished eating, okay? Some people do need a snack, especially if you're eating really early, your dinner, and you are going to bed quite late. But if you do put a snack in there, we want to make sure it is a very deliberate, high-protein, satisfying snack. It is not sitting on the couch and grazing and picking over a period of time. So that's number 2, regular meals. Strategy tip number 3, drinking low energy fluids, consuming mostly low energy fluids. And this is because fluids with more energy intake can slowly come into the diet after having weight loss surgery and increase slowly over time and contribute more energy into your intake over time, more calories. And this can lead to weight regain, and it can happen in small little increments, going from 1 milky coffee a day. A year later, you're having 2 a day. And sometimes later it turns into 3, and then the weight starts coming back because it's so much easier to drink our calories. When we drink calories, they don't fill us up for as long. And, it can be really easy to drink some extra calories every day and not be really clear that's happening. So there's a level of, vigilance, I call it, about being really clear that most of your fluid intake is the low energy fluids, okay? So when I'm talking high energy fluids, I'm talking about smoothies, orange juice, glass of wine, beer, all of those things, soft drinks or sodas. When I'm saying smoothie, I'm not talking about a deliberate high protein smoothie or shake that we would be having as a meal or a snack. So drinking, mostly consuming low energy fluids. That's number 3. Number 4, as a tip or a strategy to avoid weight regain after bariatric surgery, is moving your body. This is about making activity part of your life. And I like to say, I don't mean necessarily putting on the Lycra and the leg warmers and going to the gym. Some people love the gym. Other people say they do not like the gym at all. It reminds them of their life before surgery, trying to, lose weight and dieting. Moving your body can take so many different forms, and I really encourage my clients to find a way of moving their body that they really enjoy. Dancing, bowling, running around the park with the kids, riding their bike, getting off the bus stop and walking to work, taking the stairs at work, all of those things. Research shows that when you move your body regularly after weight loss surgery, you are more likely to maintain your weight. Moving your body is key. It goes without saying, if you are not used to moving your body regularly and you want to go into an exercise or an activity regime, it is great to check in with your primary care provider and seek advice before starting a new activity regime. So you get the all clear, and if you need to, getting a healthcare professional, such as an exercise physiologist, to help you move into doing some activity, especially if you've got some previous injuries. That's really important because it's all about doing activity that doesn't cause pain and discomfort. And also, as I said before, finding activity you really enjoy. Puts a smile on your face, you're more likely to keep doing it, okay? Number 5, as a tip or a strategy for avoiding weight regain after bariatric surgery, is reaching out for support. There's a lot of research that shows that people that get follow-up after their weight loss surgery do better. And who can be in your support team? Your bariatric surgeon, your bariatric nurse, maybe primary care provider or GP attached to your bariatric surgery, psychologist, dietitian. Follow-up is really key. Ask yourself, do you feel that you should be able to do your weight loss surgery journey by yourself? And I'm talking long term. I'm talking after you have been released from your bariatric centre, after they say, all good, follow-up is mainly done, off you go, come back if you have any challenges. Do you feel that is a failure on your part, or you should be able to manage it on your own? If you do feel that way of thinking could actually hold you back from being as successful as you can, and also can be, a form of self-sabotage, because needing support after weight loss surgery is really normal and it's expected. There is so much change after having bariatric surgery, so much behavior change, so many things can come up that you never expected. It is so wonderful to have a support team where you can really tap into when you need and regularly. And sometimes it's even just checking in, even when all is okay, getting reminded of things, because we can forget things over time, and just helping you keep on track. Old habits are going to come back in time. That's not just if, it's really when. And your support team can help you manage that. And you need people in your life that are I call them your personal cheerleaders, that are telling you all the things you're doing wonderfully, patting you on the back and picking you up if you need support. So that is number 5, reaching out for support. So to recap, today's topic of how to avoid weight regain after bariatric surgery, let's go through the 5 tips or strategies that I've mentioned. 1 is consume adequate protein each day. Number 2, regular meals, getting into a great eating schedule. Number 3, drink mostly low energy fluids. And number 4, moving your body on a regular basis. And number 5 is reaching out for support. Thank you so much for listening to my first podcast. I would love you to subscribe to my podcast. I'd love a rating and a review, and I really look forward to being in your ears next Monday.